Morning, Trainiacs. This swim, I think has it in for me. You might not see me after this intro anymore, so if it does end up getting the better of me, it's been nice. Thanks for following. Now, all jokes aside, something that's kind of peculiar about swimming is that it's not just that you do more of it, you get better. In fact, beginner triathletes, if you're not working on the right things, you can actually do damage to your swim progress because you will associate difficulty and panic and feeling short of breath with swimming, which then just kind of compounds itself. So today, I'm gonna go through the most common mistakes the beginner triathletes are making when it comes to their swim training and how you should properly be getting into it. That said, I don't know if I recommend doing stuff like what I'm doing today. It's like a 4,600 meter swim with a good chunk of it being hard. That was no joke. 4,550 yards in an hour 20, averaging a 130 per 100 yard pace. Those have actually become quite enjoyable. Coach Jerry asked me, how's it going? I'm like, mentally it's getting pretty tough. And they said, you've been doing these on your own for about 9 months. Go get yourself a training partner. Got myself the best training partner. This guy. Best training partner.
Survived.
He didn't die on me. All right, Trainiacs. Oh, after that big swim, you know that spot in between the shoulder blades? It's just right back there, right in here. It gets tight. I roll it out and I hang it out. All right, so I want to come here so that I can be a bit of a hands talker, and I can kind of demonstrate some of these issues with the 7 things that I think beginner triathletes make mistakes on when they start swimming. And the first one is that they just go and start swimming. They think that it's like cycling or running, where the more you cycle, the more you run, the faster you get, the better you get, the more comfortable you get. It's not necessarily like that in swimming because it's so technique based. Go to any master's club and take a look down the lanes and you'll see very, very fit people in the slower lanes and fairly unfit people in the faster lanes. And that just goes to show that it's not about fitness and grinding out hard efforts and getting super ripped and strong. It's so much more about technique than anything like that. So the first thing that you need to do is develop comfort in the water before you really even think about swimming. And you can do that by doing drills like sink downs. You can do that by doing drills like having your hands on the edge of the pool and just slowly getting your feet up and kicking. You can do that by just getting comfortable in the water. And we've got an entire free download that is 18 drills that take you from absolute no swimming to being able to swim 27 kilometers in the open water, 37 kilometers in the open water. Go to triathlontaren.com/swim drill program. I think like 7,000 people have gone through that by now. Next is that beginner triathletes don't use pool toys. These are things like snorkels, bands, pull, kickboards. These things are essential tools because in a lot of cases when they're used properly, I'll get to that in a bit, they are tools that can isolate certain aspects of the stroke so that we can develop certain abilities. So a snorkel, a band, and a pull, it can allow us to not have to worry about keeping our legs at the surface of the water And all we need to focus on is kind of staying level with the surface of the water and having a really nice swim catch. Now, the second issue to that, and the third most common issue that triathletes have when they start swimming, is that they don't use all these toys properly. Now, for example, I see a lot of triathletes that are struggling with being a little bit too wiggly in the water. Like, it's very common that triathletes don't have the body awareness to stay nice and stiff in the water and shoot down the water like a log. They are wiggly, so they kind of go across the water fairly slowly. They sink a little bit like a pool noodle. Well, a pool noodle doesn't sink. But you want to be tight like a log. Even a 3,000-pound log can be pushed across the surface of the water very quickly. Thing is, when you use a pull buoy, and just a pull buoy, it's kind of giving you another fulcrum in the middle of your body that makes you even more wiggly. So we have all these swimmers that are using pull buoys as a crutch, but it's just reinforcing that wiggly body. Quite often, you want to pair a pull buoy with a band and a snorkel and turn your entire body into just, boom, a really nice log going across the surface of the water as straight as you can. Fourth issue that I see is not getting into open water. In the pool, you got a nice black line to look at. You got all these big juicy lane ropes that take all the waves out of the water. You don't have people kicking in your face. You can actually see your hands. Get into open water, all of that goes away. So remember how uncomfortable you felt the first time you went into the pool? It's gonna feel basically exactly the same way when you get into open water. It's a completely foreign environment. So you wanna get into open water and develop comfort with it so you don't panic when you get into that race. Do it at least 5 or 6 times and think about how comfortable you can be with things like triathlontaren.com/swim drill program, how comfortable you've developed in the pool. Translate that into comfort in open water, and the swim in the race can be like easiest part of it. Fifth thing related to that is not wearing or getting a wetsuit wet before your first race of the year. If you aren't yet in open water and you are going to a race where you have to be in a wetsuit, at very least, if you can't get that wetsuit on you and swim a few times in open water before that race, take that wetsuit and put it in the shower with cool, room temperature kind of water so that it can kind of loosen up again. And then when you get to that race, you're not because when these wetsuits are dried out over the winter or they're brand new, they're really very tight and they need to get wet to loosen up. So get them wet, let them dry out, get them wet, let them dry out, and you're gonna have more room and it's going to be less constrictive and you're not gonna have that panic response when you get to the race. Sixth thing related to that is even if you can't get in open water, I would definitely recommend wearing your wetsuit or a swim skin or whatever it is before the race in the pool. Doing it 4 or 5 times, as long as you wash it out in the showers really good after, that chlorine is not going to damage the wetsuit. It's going to be great for you because you're going to feel comfortable in that body position with the extra buoyancy from a wetsuit or the added tightness from a swim skin. Over the past few weeks, I've been wearing my swim skin quite a bit in preparation for Half Ironman Puerto Rico so that I know where I have to put body glide, where I have to cinch things up, where I need a little bit of extra room here or there so I don't get bunching in certain areas. But it feels nice. By the time I get into that water, it's like I've done this a half a dozen times and everything is routine. And the seventh and final thing that I notice that beginner triathletes do is they think when they get to that race, they're like, all right, I've been hearing about the human washing machine and I got to get used to this human washing machine, get in it. There's really no reason for it. I'm going to tell you a little bit of math. At Ironman Kona, the course basically goes up, out a little bit, and back. Basically about as straight out and back as you can get. And the start line is immensely wide, just insanely wide. And people think that they need to take that they need to take a direct line down the buoys if they want to do well and take the race seriously. Well, over here are the people that are like, well, they're not taking it very seriously. Well, do some math. You go across, and you do the math. How much longer do you think it is if you started way out here where it's less congested? There are much fewer people, less of that human washing machine. It's something like 2 feet longer. I guarantee that just by going like this, you're gonna end up going 2 feet longer. And essentially it kind of nullifies all of that. You can swim your race, you can stay out of that human washing machine. So go way off to the side in a race, or let everyone swim out in front of you and then go in. Even though it only takes about 7 to 10 seconds to let that main chop group go out in front of you, I guarantee you're gonna gain that 7 to 10 seconds back by being able to race your race, not freaking out, not being knocked around with goggles getting kicked off your face, people punching you. And when you're new to the sport, all of those things can slow you down by 2, 3, 10 minutes, maybe more. So just take the 10 seconds to let everyone go and go for a swim. That's it. So I'm realizing that I didn't need all that arm space to go through that because I didn't really demonstrate as many things as I thought I would, but whatever, a little change of scenery. Now, as I say, if you aren't yet comfortable in open water, in the pool whatsoever, if you can't yet swim 400 meters or yards continuously without feeling out of breath at the end and without feeling like you need to take a break at all in the middle, being completely controlled through that 400, you need to develop comfort in the water first. And you can do that by going to triathlontaren.com/swim drill program. Put in your email address, totally free. The entire drill series that I use to go from barely being able to get across the pool, being that person that wasn't confident in open water, to being able to complete a 27 and another 37-kilometer open water marathon swim. Now, if you guys would just stop interrupting the videos. They're antsy. They've been cooped up inside all winter. All right, go check it out later, Trainiacs.